Daylight Dave! Hey, welcome back, baby! Okay, hey, BAC V RR, I forgot to say that. So, I just had a little mishap. I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning and, oh, like an idiot, I let the cats in my layout room here, 2 cats, and, you know, they're spun in the morning, and I should have let them in here because they start fighting and running around all over the place. All that to say, I wasn't paying attention, so we're shoving back with the auto train because guess what? We had a little mishap. Slammed in the back of the dang Amtrak train. He's got red lights too, so it's always one of the problems when you got a hidden station yard. No, I can't see it. I open up the garage door to, access it, the big doors anyways. But anyway, so we're shoving back, and thankfully we didn't have any derailment, so I think I told you this story maybe a year or two ago where this actually happened, where it was the local going down to Warm Springs, and there was a train. They're in the depot in Sacramento, and they ran right into the back of it and hit it. Not too hard, but I think they bumped a car off the track or something. So, yeah, they kind of got fired for that little mess. And I was down in Warm Springs waiting for their power that they were coming down with. So, and they ended up holding me down there for, I don't know, it was like an extra day or something like that. So, I got what they called held away. So, I made some pretty good money just shopping at the mall down there, I was actually down in Newark, which is north of San Jose. Anyway, so we're shoving back, and what was I going to say? Like I said, I got up about 5 o'clock in the morning. It's almost 7, so at 7 I'm going to watch the news, but I'm going to go back and we'll run some trains. A little switching here in West Oak, too. So, come on, boys. Take that engine back, and no, I wasn't running either, thankfully. Come on, dispatcher, hey, bend that switch, let's go, come on, let's go. By the way, there's a fresh crew on this UP train, too, since they screwed up. There we go, about time. Hey, looking better this time. You know, one trick with my staging, too, is I always try to park a train just so I can see it, either the head end or the tail end, because I can see it in this area, and there's actually... goes around, it peels around back, and there's actually 5 tracks. It splits into another track back there too, so there's a total of 5. And that switch back there on the far left, it's a variable switch, and variable switches were real common in Oakland. And a variable switch is nothing more than a switch where, say you're coming along here, you're shoving back, and obviously the switch just goes over, and that was a variable switch. So that's a variable, and I just work around it as far as running trains through it, and works out fine, so I don't have to throw switches back there, but just bumps over. But yeah, variable switches were real common in Oakland. I remember the first time I saw it back in the late 70s, I was watching this train go, and he just runs right through it, and it just flops over. And another quick story, too, is then when I started working with the railroad, I was working with this guy, and they only had a couple variable switches left, and I didn't know it. And we were wiring the power over there by Schnitzer Steel, and again, West Oakland. And I was like, I kind of jumped on him. I go, you just ran right through that switch. He goes, no, the switch is still variable. And I'm like, oh, God. I really don't want to get fired, but yeah, it just flops over. Oh, yeah, and this switch, the reason I don't have a hand throw like all the rest of these, I have hand throws, but right here, because I have 2 switches back to back, and I've tried to put at least 1 hand throw in there, but it's either an auto rack or something will catch it, so I just have to leave them just like that. So same thing with this one because it's just too tight, but no big deal. Hey, goodbye auto train. Get that Amtrak moving. I had to kind of pull that Amtrak back a little bit because I'm not sure why it kind of stalled out, but I'll have to see if I might have derailed that engine. Shoving up back, there's a local yard here, and I'm looking forward to getting some more BART cars. I think I'm going to get either 2 or 3, I'm not sure what, but I'm definitely going to get that C car, because that's cool. C stands for cool, so I got to get it. If you go to Amtrak, I don't think you're derailed. I don't hear any thumping or anything like that, so I'll just double check. This is about, there's just a few areas where I don't have signals, and I have yet to put the signals on this. I have them. I have the UP style Darth Vader type signals ready to put on. I just haven't done it. I got to get around to doing it one of these days. So, yeah, we're good here. We're not on the ground. Okay, I'm going to try to reach. I got to do a little stretch here, but here's the other side of my staging. You see the garage door and the 5 tracks. So what I do is, like, I'm going to bring this auto train up, and I'm just going to reverse him. So he's going to come along here, this track, as I bump the signal, cross over here. Hey, there's Mr. Modello. Screws along. But I put this in a few years ago, a reverse loop that goes right behind it. Somehow I was able to squeeze that track in, and it goes behind my whole helix, and it'll come popping out here, so I can reverse them and restage them. Let's just put it that way. That's a good term. Hey, a little shot of the tower. I bumped that signal a little bit. This one I don't have glued down, so it'll just bump over. This one I got glued down, and oh, my cat broke it the other day. It broke it right there, but you can't really notice it. So, but anyways, yeah, it just reverses, goes right back around. And I already threw those switches, just some old Atlas switches I used. This is the only. Oh, I got one other place in Lathrop where I use these Atlas switches. But since you really can't see them too well, I just put them in there. So I'm all lined this way. I'm all lined correctly. Let's just put it that way. Okay, guys, hey, back on the other side, back on the West Oak side here, and I just restage them. I'm kind of park them here, just right around the BART tracks. And we're good. Okay, I'm going to watch a little news here for about 20 minutes, and then I'm going to do a little switching. I meant to show you this too, just some paperwork that I do, but the other day I consisted the CMW, and again, I just picked my best engine. I consist off of him, so everything's consisted off of this guy. Hey, best of luck. Anybody who lives in Florida, best of luck to you guys, and yeah, hopefully everybody's going to be okay, that's for sure. It looks like a scary storm. Anyways, one last thing I'll show you, and then I'm going to flip over to the news. So when I consist, I keep track of everything. What I set everything at, engine number. And it really helps. Like when I went to tweak them, I just go right off of this, and I can either add a little bit or subtract a little bit. And the ones that are blank are engines that are factory set, so I don't even mess with them. And there's one more page here too. A couple pages, but so I do with that. Okay, hang on. Pause time. Hey, like Dave, hey, I'm back. Watch my little, got my little 20 minutes of news time in, and I'm good. Try not to watch too much news, because sometimes it's just too darn depressing. Anyways, guess what? I just got suckered into working a remote. And this is a true story for me, too. I was down in San Jose, and it's always weird how that LED kind of flashes. Move the camera this way. It's not really flashing, but it's not flashing in real life. But anyways, weird how that does that. Show off from this angle. But anyways, down in San Jose, and it was like a weekend, and a crew dispatcher calls me up and says, hey, can you work a remote job in Warm Springs? And after going back and forth, I'm like, man, I don't want to do this, because I was a road conductor, And I'm like, oh, and then she finally just sweet-talked me. I broke down. I caved. I ended up doing it. So, but it wasn't too bad. It was back when they had the Toyota plant there, so we just spotted some empty auto racks for the Toyota plant. Ended up going deep into the yard. I had to dig out a tank car. Got that done, but hey, I finished in 4 hours, and they drove me back to Roseville. So, all in all, it wasn't too bad. It was a daylight job too. So, but like I said, I caved and I did it. I can't believe I did it. Okay, here's the plan here. Since I'm talking too much like usual. So this train came in, it was about twice as long, and I'm talking the stack train there. And because the ramp was full, they pulled them out now, the cars that were in the ramp. And the ramp is where the container lift is, that orange thing over there. Anyway, so we got to respot these cars. Easy job, we're just going to pull them out here and then respot them in the ramp. These are loads, and that's our job. You guys know I like telling true stories, so what they'd have you do is you gotta run the zone. Run the zone means you just take your light power and you run out as far as you think you need to go, and line all the switches ahead of time before you start pulling a train. Because too many times what was happening is the remote jobs were, the guys were assuming switches were lined a certain way. So down in, again, Warm Springs, there were 2 units, 2 4-axle units, and the switches were lined wrong. So they ended up diving the 2 engines up this hillside. It was kind of a hillside there where we used to fuel the engines. Right up, and they were just sitting on the dirt. And another one was, you know what, I'm going to talk and run too at the same time, so I know you guys like to see the trains run. Let me get myself set up here. Forgot what engine I got here. Okay, so we're just going to pull up here, run the zone. I hope that's the plan. There we go. Come on, bad baby. What the heck is going on here? Hang on, I gotta figure out what's going on here. I just put this thing on the track. I'm not sure if I got it on the track right. You know what? It really does help when you put the lead trucks on the rails, not on the ties. So, okay, we should be better here. Again, I think I told you, public road crossing. And this is UP private property, low sign there. We'll pull up here. Stop. Get some switches. The conductor get up here and line this switch. This is considered, this is just my switching lead slash main track, but it's always set up for a restricting signal there. And he goes all the way, you can swing all the way out to East Oakland, Fruitvale, so if you got to pull a long train. So there's my other 2 main tracks right here. Oakland sub on the left. And sub there where the Amtrak's sitting. Come on, buddy, let's go, let's go. Going all day. Let's pull this thing. Okay. On the move. Oh, we're good. You just have to check, verify all the switches are lined, so we're all lined through, so we're going to shove back here and we'll get those stackers. Okay, so here's my other story. And this was in West Oakland, again, 2 units, and the guys didn't have the switch line right. So they actually ran through an absolute signal, ran through an A street, aka 10th Street. They ran right through 10th Street into the OS. And my buddy, who was an engineer, all of a sudden he's coming around the curve, you know, outside of Jack London Square. The speed was, what the heck was the speed there? I'm starting to forget. 15? I think it was 15. Little stretch. Oh, got it. Red zone airtime. Red zone airtime. So, anyways, the power is sitting right there on the main line. And the dispatcher is calling the crew that's coming around the curve and, hey, what's going on out there? Because she could tell immediately, you know, on her screen as far as what's going on. So my buddy was an engineer. Oh God, I could picture him, but I forgot what his first name was. Anyways, he tells me the story a few days later. He says, "Yes, come around the curve, damn remote there on the main line." So, you know, a lot of that stuff they covered up when they first started running the remotes. They, you know, guys weren't getting in trouble. They didn't want to report too many things, and the only reason I'm laughing on these incidents, as I should say, or accidents, is that nobody got hurt. So it wouldn't be funny if somebody got hurt, but nobody got hurt. So, but anyways, yeah, they covered up a lot of them. You know, they just kind of let it slide because they didn't want to. Well, they wanted to promote or get going with the whole remote operation because it cuts down on crews. So, anyways. Got about 1 more year. We're just going to shove back there under the bridge. Get to switch here. Get my little shanty right there. Come on, Amtrak. Hey, what's going on? Got problems with that engine again? I got problems because the auto train slammed into it. Okay, come on back here. Spot these guys. Most of these switches in the yard here are manual. Mainline switches are remote. That one's definitely a remote at Tortoise because I can't reach the darn thing, otherwise I'll knock this bridge over, and I put too much time into this darn thing. And let me check the switch here. Yeah, he's good. That switch 24 right there. We're all lined back. Shove it on back. There's a ramp manager right there. Always had a ramp manager. Guy in charge of the cars. No flags. A lot of times in Oakland, you'd either have a red flag or a blue flag. You got blue flag was usually car department. Red flag was guys working on the containers. They got to put clips on the darn things, like small little clips, and they flip them over just to lock the top container down. 4 clips. I don't know what they're exactly called, but. So they come out and undo them, and then they come out and unload them. And you'd be shocked how fast they can load and unload containers and put them on the trailers. And I've got to get more chassis. I wish they'd had more chassis out, and they're kind of hard to come by. But they'd actually have all the chassis lined up right there, so it was just a matter of you shove back. I think I mentioned to a pretty exact point, and they go to town, lifting the containers right off the well cars, and done in pretty much no time. But everything was all lined up. A lot of my chassis are sitting up in Stockton right now. So where I spot this guy is I just spot him right past the switch by just maybe half a car, because you want to get where everything's straight. And I'm looking at the tail end there before I hit that switch. Okay, we're good. Oh, that'll do. I'm talking to myself because I'm running a remote. Okay, last thing we gotta do, and then we're gonna get in really quick. We gotta respot these 4 auto racks. They need to go in this rail right here, and the reason being is when they get unloaded here, they keep these 2 all roads, or whatever you want to call it, private property roads, clear, and then this sucker goes right here in the middle. So we're going to respot that right there and make a cut. Let's go. Just kind of realized on this 1216 that plow's kind of low. And I've had that problem before. You get a new engine, all of a sudden the plow is just a speck too low. So I'll pull them off and just sand them from the bottom. But in the meantime, hey, let's get those racks. Ooh, looking sweet. I think I got to turn up the horn volume on this thing. It's pretty quiet. It's probably not the correct horn, but I sure like the sound of this one. It's smooth. One day like that, work that remote. Get the job done. I'm going past my usual 15 minutes, but oh well. Cruising. I was too lazy to get the people. Okay, pull it ahead. Car department, they came out and they bled these cars off, and that means they got all the air out of it so you could just roll them around freely. But you still have to set the handbrakes. We'll just pull this up here, make a cut here just before the crossing. Ooh, nice rack. That's what he said. The other thing about remotes is, you work with another guy and you both have the remotes. There's belt packs is what they're called, and they're kind of strapped to your belly there. But you push a button, and it's called, you pitch it back and forth, so only one person at a time can control the darn engines. But you would say, hey, it pitches in the air, and that means the other guy, he pushes a button, and he grabs it, so... And then he's got control of it, so pitches in the air. Anyways, another remote story. But they like that, let's spot these rackers, let's get the hell out of here. Man, the yard hasn't been this empty in months. About time, clear this thing out. Ooh, looking good. When you work a remote, you really don't have to give car counts, because you're running the darn thing, so... You're talking to yourself otherwise. Spot this thing here just the other side of the crossing. Oh, that's good. So we're going to park the power 2 tracks to the left, walk over the shanty, tie up, and go home. Man, the car department, they're on this. They unload those suckers. Man, it's about time you get going, buddy. Trying to do two things at once, so it's not easy. Actually, three things. Run two trains and run the damn camera. Okay, that would, yeah, just break the power here. Come on, Amtrak. I got a crossing order because these things aren't working. Oh man, I've been having a problem with that spot right there. Okay, let's go. We don't have to blow for the private road crossing. We're out of here. Thankfully, no injuries when that auto train ran in the back of this sucker. Okay, guys, hey. I exceeded my 15 minutes, but appreciate you guys watching. Yeah, there's a lot of stories, and I'll make sure I put that in the description, that there are a whole bunch of stories, too, so. In the meantime, hey, enjoy your day. Stay away from hurricanes. Stay like Dave. BAC V RR signing out.